athletes currently? Okay, so a lot of you do. You just came for some more information. Great. Athletes, I have to say, are obviously my favorite clients. College coaches start looking at athletes in the 7th grade level. And it is amazing, but athletes and sports are really a great market to get into, because if you want to have a profitable business, athletes will lead you there. There are parents that will pay anything for their children to get to a certain level, to have confidence, to be better athletes. And when you see athletes and you see the success with athletes and the parents see the success with athletes, they will refer you for many other things. If you're looking for a profitable business, because we all know that we got into hypnosis because we wanted to help people, and that's amazing, and that's why we do it. But athletes will bring in the money to help you have the profit so that you can have a successful business. Athletes are my favorite clients. They're the easiest clients. They know how to get in a hypnotic state. They're motivated. And so they're in the zone anyways when they're playing a great match. And if an athlete's coming to your office, they're already great athletes. So you don't have to make them be great athletes. You just have to give them that little piece of the puzzle that they've been missing. And so they're easy, they're a stream of profit. In 3 sessions, you're not working with deep work. You can just go ahead and work with them and get success. And then you can see athletes for many other things. I think it was about 1.5 years ago, Helen Midas came to one of my classes. I'm working with athletes, and she said to me, you need to capitalize on this. So I put together a book, a manual, that is step-by-step sessions, the 3 sessions for athletes, and exactly how you work with them and what you do with them. And start with your regular pre-talk. What does it feel like to be in hypnosis? How does the conscious mind, the subconscious mind work? When an athlete comes to you for hypnosis, 99% of the time it's because they've gotten a referral from someone else that says, this is amazing, your child needs to try this, or you need to try this. Sometimes they're scared, and you can see they walk in and that athlete is not sure what you're going to do with them. So the pre-talk is very important. You know, this is what hypnosis is, this is what it feels like, the brainwave states. So what I traditionally do is, if it is a child under 18, I will have the parent come in for the first 20 minutes or so of the session to listen to the pre-talk, and then to listen how hypnosis works with sports. Most of the athletes, I ask them 2 questions. 1, how many times a day do you say, I am a great baseball player, or I am a great swimmer? And most of them will look at me dumbfounded, and then I'll say, it's okay, just be honest, you know, it doesn't matter, and they'll be like, not very often. Or if they're higher level athletes, they'll say, well, a few times a day. So what I'll say to the athlete is, if you want to be the best, your internal self-talk is the only way that's going to get you there. So there's 5 things that if you've been wrestling or swimming or playing volleyball or basketball or track since you've been in kindergarten, because we all know that sports now are very competitive and these kids are doing it year-round, you need to get that mental edge. And the first one is that mental log keeping. What do you say to yourself about how you've been performing? What do you say to yourself every single day about how practice is going to go and how you're going to do so? The second one is goal setting. We all know if we don't set goals, we'll never reach goals. Third one is self-talk. Thought stopping, so important. What you say to yourself becomes your reality. What your mind believes, your body achieves. So the self-talk, relaxation techniques. I explained to them that by the 3rd session, I will be teaching you self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is really a form of relaxation where that critical conscious mind that has a tendency to replay the negative, that has a tendency to say, I'm really not as good as that state champion, or I'm never going to beat, that one's shut down. It's not analyzing, it's not critiquing, it's not overthinking. When you're in that state, you can then replace that. Whatever we're seeing in our head becomes our blueprint, especially when we're in that zone. That's the way that we're going to compete. After the pre-talk, first thing we do is, what are your goals for this season? And they'll tell me their goals. They come up with 15, 20 affirmations, self-statements. You write them down for them. We talk about pre-event power word. What we're doing is we're saying that word 5 to 10 times before we compete. We're changing that self-talk. We talk about what's their perfect visualization. Have them close their eyes, do the visualization. And then we do the hypnosis therapy. Talk about what their mental training program is. So from today forward, this is what it's important to do. It's always easy to do the mental training while you're seeing me. Of course, you're accountable. If you want to really be that best athlete, then you need to do this really for the rest of your life. Your mental training is just as important or more important than your physical training. And then I have a sheet that's also in here, which are tips for parents. And that's how to work with your child. Simple things like when your child is busy doing something else, just anchoring on their shoulder, you're a great athlete, you're a great swimmer, or you're amazing at, or you let go of, whatever it is. The other thing that I do with athletes is that I always tell them, if you have a certain GPA goal or you have math is difficult for you, write a statement, math comes easily to me. We'll tag it onto your affirmations, we'll tag it onto your recording. Why not? The parents love it. And then before they compete, they're practicing self-hypnosis. Before they compete then, they just see themselves stepping in a circle. They've already got that in their subconscious mind. It brings back that same feeling, those endorphins, and they're not thinking about, oh my gosh, how I'm going to do when I compete or I'm nervous. They're now just seeing themselves in that place of power.